You're listening to the Synergy Leadership Podcast, a discussion with engaging, empowering, and enlightening leaders about the greatest competitive advantage in business and entrepreneurship that often goes unrecognized: a team's energy. Here's your host, the woman who puts the energy in synergy, Karen R. Jenkins.
Welcome to this special episode of the Synergy Leadership Podcast. Today's podcast is Reclaiming Your Energy, Leading with Clarity, Confidence, and Calm in Chaotic Seasons. Why am I doing a solo one today and not having a guest? I wanted to invite all of you to my prayer porch. And that's where I am right now. This is where I sit and reflect and just have my disconnect moments. But I also wanted to talk to you about planning for your fourth quarter innings amidst all the chaos, but also preparing for 2026. So this is our real talk. This is our together time, my time with you as a mother, as a wife, as a leader, my community, as a business owner. I, like you, have felt all of the stresses that life can bring to us. So what we want to do today is set the stage for November, the fourth quarter chaos, and talk to you a little bit about why energy leadership matters now more than anything else. So buckle up. Hopefully you will get a lot out of this, because as I shared with you, our goal is to help people add value and make a difference. And by the end of this podcast, I'm hopeful that you'll agree with me that we did just that. The first topic, if you don't mind, grab your cup of coffee. The first topic is, I've had several people come and talk to me about how in the current environment, it feels a little different. And looking at everything that we have going on and going into the holiday season, which can also be a stressful time, we want to make sure that we're doing something different this time with this solo episode, knowing that life is full, that our calendars are overflowing, especially now going to the holidays. I kept hearing the same message from my clients, leaders, and our entrepreneurs. Oh, Karen, I'm tired. Or oh, Karen, I'm so stretched. Or I'm trying to finish the year strong, but there's just so much on me. So I decided, let's talk about it, right? What you focus on, where you direct your attention, is where your energy goes. So we might as well do something positive and make things happen. So in this episode of Reclaiming Your Energy, Leading with Clarity, Confidence, and Calm in Chaotic Seasons, we want to make sure we need to have a strategy, but we also need to have a plan. We need to have tools. And honestly, at this point, this is the time for us to reset. And that's what we're going to go through today. The real reason why everything feels loaded or heavy or just overbearing at times is because we have an emotional overload. The accumulation of everything that you've been carrying since really January of 2025, everything that your team expects, everything that you expect from yourself can be a lot. By this point in the year, we're closing it out. You're still trying to balance closing out your contracts, finalizing your budgets, preparing your evaluations, managing your team fatigue because they're tired too, and trying to show up for your own families as the holiday season ramps up. And on top of all of that, there's something called urgency inflation, when every single thing suddenly feels like it's a crisis. Every request, every email, every deadline starts sounding like an alarm bell going off in the head. And when we operate from that place, unfortunately, clarity takes a backseat. Confidence will take a hit. And calm, what is that? That becomes a luxury. That's why energy leadership matters so much right now. You've heard me say it. It is my signature statement that you are responsible for the energy that you bring into the room. And most of us, because a lot of times we're operating, but we're operating subconsciously, most of us aren't even familiar with or aware of the energy that we're carrying. Things happen. We went through this. We went through something. Somebody with the bird while I was driving, my blood pressure went up, or somebody said something to me that was really rude, and my blood pressure is that changes our energy if we're not careful. And when we're carrying that, we're still carrying that. When we go into that room, we connect with the next person that had absolutely nothing to do with what happened to you. We tend to give that energy to them as well, and that is not fair. If you've been looking and learning from me, one of the things that we talk about is being responsible for your energy and being conscious of the energy that you're bringing in. Energy is your first line of communication. People can feel your energy before you even open your mouth. It's not just about what you say. It's not just about your posture, but the energy. You have a realm of energy that is encompassing your body. And that energy comes with a frequency, and that frequency is being felt. So before you utter a word, people feel you. They feel your confidence, or they feel your clarity, or they feel your anxiety, or they feel your frustration. And you have witnessed that in other people as well. Your energy sets the tone for your team, for your clients, and your outcomes. I've seen this play out in boardrooms, in training rooms, and in crisis situations. And I've lived it too. There are seasons in my life when the pressure was so intense, and you know about most of them, where we had multiple family crises with my father, with my son, business pivots where my father got sick, lost 70% of our revenue. I had to run my business from the side of my father's bed when he was in the hospital in 2015, and I had to repeat that again in 2016, where I was running my business or trying to hold on to it by the side of my son's bed when he had a ruptured brain aneurysm just 4 days after graduating from high school. You know, the financial crisis that happened in 2008, and then COVID happened, which ultimately impacted our finances and our world. And now, in the challenges that we face with the unknown, it's the uncertainty that is getting at people. It is the uncertainty of what's happening in our country, what's happening with the economy, and all the different changes. There is no model for what we're having to go through right now because it's unprecedented. But how do we deal with that? And I had to learn to manage my energy before managing anything else. And that's what I want you to work on, is making sure that, guess what? If you manage that energy, if you manage kind of where your mind's going and what you're focusing on, you'd be amazed at what you can achieve. Because when your energy is aligned, your decisions are cleaner and they're clearer. Your voice is steadier. Your presence is stronger. Your leadership becomes magnetic. And that brings me to something practical that you can actually start today. I want to talk to you and share with you some of my tips that I use to ground and to stay focused. This is one of my go-to reset techniques for leaders who don't have an hour to meditate or journal or decompress. Listen, I meditate every day. I pray every day. I have my quiet time. I disconnect from everything. But sometimes, and I do that in the morning normally, and sometimes in the afternoon, but sometimes something happens and I need a quick reset. And I need to do it in wherever I am. So this exercise or this technique, I call it the 3-minute synergy reset. And it only takes, 3 minutes. So what I want you to do is, in step 1, breathe with intention for 45 seconds. Inhale to the count of 4, hold it for the count of 4, and exhale for the count of 6. What this exercise does repeatedly after you've done it for 45 seconds is sending your nervous system a message that says, hey, we're safe, we're in control. And we go to fight or flight when we get stressed out. And sometimes the fight or flight isn't necessary. There's not a gorilla, running behind you. There's not a bear or a dog chasing you, but we take to that fight or flight energy, and in our nervous system, our cortisol levels go up and we get really, really stressed. So how do we calm ourselves? So step one is the 45-second inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 6. Step 2 is ask one powerful question for 45 seconds. What is the actual priority right now? Like, what is happening right now? Like, what do I really need to be focusing on? Not the noise, because there's plenty of noise. What is your real priority? Because I'll tell you, looking at the news and what you see on social media is probably not your priority. It's a distraction. It is the noise. So what do you really need to be focused on? I tell people, look, I'm over here minding my business. I'm not disconnected. I am disconnected. I'm not ignoring what's happening, but I'm not focusing on it either, and all the craziness that's happening in areas of my life that I have absolutely no control over. And that really, and ultimately I have to say, how does it really impact me? And what can I do outside of that? So step 3 is to release the residue for 45 seconds. What was it that bothered you? Was it the email tone that somebody sent you an email in all caps? Was it the conversation that you're replaying in your head over and over and over again? Was it the pressure you picked up from someone else? I'll tell you this. Beckwith made a statement in a session that I listened in on him, and he said, when you go through something bad or traumatic event, when you are replaying that over and over in your head, he calls it self-abuse, because when you're replaying the memory of the thing that set you off, upset you, traumatized you, your body doesn't know the difference between you going through it for real or you just memorizing it or remembering it. And in those instances, your cortisol levels are going out. So you're really stressing your body out. We need to redirect our attention and focus on things that we have control over. And at this point, after you release the residue, just let it go. Whatever that thing was, let it go, redirect your attention. And then in step 4, re-enter the intention, or re-enter wherever you were going with your new intention for 45 seconds. So you want to ask yourself, what energy do I want to bring into the next room, the next call, or the next decision that I'm about to make? That's the synergy reset. So as a recap, 1, breathe with intention, 45 seconds. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 6. Ask one powerful question. What is your actual priority right now? Don't focus on the noise. 3, release the residue for 45 seconds, whatever that thing was that set you off in the first place, and then let it go on the exhale. And then re-enter wherever you're going with intention. And ask yourself, what energy do I want to bring into the room, the next call, or the next decision that I have to make? This is quick, it's simple, but very powerful. You can do it in your car, at your desk, in the hallway, in the bathroom stall, before any tough conversation that you're about to have. So utilize that. And hey, send me a DM, email me, reach out to us. I would love to hear how impactful that simple exercise has been for you, especially as you're going into the holidays. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is kind of where we are right now, the year-end leadership audit. This is how we're going to finish strong without burning out. A simple audit I want you to do this week is to, 1, I want you to decide, analyze, look at your life, your year, and decide, what am I going to carry forward? What worked well for me this year? What gave me energy? What aligned with my vision? And then whatever that was, keep it. Write it down, make it plain, and amplify that. You want to do more of that. That's the stuff that's going to light you up and improve your quality of life. But there's also things that happen that you want to release. this one is hard. You're going to try to figure out what it is, but sit with yourself for a minute and figure out what drains you. And I'm going to ask you too, who drains you? Because there's some people in your life that you might need to let them release them as well. But what drains you? What responsibilities or relationships have expired that, guess what? I tell people, and people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. So everybody's not a lifetime person. Some people come in to teach you a lesson. Some people come in for a reason to help you with something or to show you something or to reveal you something to you. So you want to make sure that you're letting go those relationships that have expired. And then what tasks no longer serve your goals or your peace? I remember working for RBMG, and one of our senior executives, one of his favorite statements, when you said something to him, it's like, I'm going to go out and do so-and-so. He said, well, I really hope that's working out for you. And you have to ask yourself that, is that working out for you? And then give yourself permission to let things go. It is okay. It is okay. There's so many other things that you've let go that you probably don't even think about. And then the third thing I want you to do is reimagine. This is where leaders create momentum. When you reimagine, what needs a new strategy in your life? What can be automated? What can be delegated? What can be simplified? What can be restructured? Spend some time journaling and asking yourself in your quiet time that one question. What can be automated? What can be delegated? What can be simplified or restructured? And then what deserves an upgrade in 2026? When you move into the new year, you look back at 2025, what deserves an upgrade? What can you level up on the next time? Leaders who win in the first quarter of 2026 aren't the ones who wait for January to start. They're the ones who finish in November with clarity. So these are the steps that I need you to take for the year-end leadership audit. Number one, what to carry forward and then amplify. Number two, what to release. Number three, what to reimagine and put that process in place. If this episode helped you reset, helped you refocus, or rethink how you're showing up, I ask that you share it with another leader who needs it. And if you're ready to go deeper into your own growth journey, I invite you to the Centerverse community. It is designed for leaders and entrepreneurs who want to support strategy and the space to grow consistently. And you can learn more about that on our website. And one more thing, my 2026 speaking calendar is officially open. And if your organization is planning a conference or retreat or leadership event, now is the time to book. Space is limited, so get on my schedule. You can contact me at KRJ Consulting to secure your date. I want to thank you for spending this time with me on my prayer porch. I hope that you have a wonderful and blessed holiday season. And remember, you are responsible for the energy that you bring into the room. Until next time, stay aligned, stay energized, and stay in your sync.